first of all, congratulations. I say that with a sigh of relief. It's finally arrived. So we've been hacking Marketplace to get on it for about a year now. So good to have Windows Phone back in the saddle, competing against all the options of smartphones. Like Faisal just mentioned, it's a growing market. So your thoughts?
Well, I think we are clearly very excited to be announcing the Windows Phone for India today. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time, preparing for this for a long time, waiting for being there at the right time. And I think it's just so glad that finally we are here talking to you and talking to press in general about the announce of the phone. I think not only do we have, the capabilities that are so important for us to have in the phone today, we also have absolutely the latest release of the Windows Phone today as we are talking about that. And we showed actually a lot of that new capability of the phone. Absolutely. You use the phone yourself, so you probably appreciate this. There's a lot of things that we've done on the latest release for the 7.5 Windows Phone, I think, and it's just getting a great response.
I haven't had the time to go through the press release, so just wanted to check on what's exactly launched in India. Marketplace, Marketplace of course would be, but is there Xbox Live support that's coming anytime soon?
So Xbox Live actually is currently supported in India. Okay. You can actually get onto the Xbox Live. You can actually go and download things out there today. Today it's so the live capability actually for Xbox Live is pretty much there. Okay. I think the only service that we may not have in India right now, is the Zoom service.
Absolutely.
Although the client is here and you can actually use that to play, music in Windows.
But the Zoom Marketplace is
the Zoom Marketplace, the one that we actually do not have today in India.
Right. Yeah. And during the presentation, you showed a couple of apps, very nice looking Times of India app,
yeah,
and Snapdeal. Yeah. Any more local partners that you could share?
Actually, this was just to give you a glimpse of what we're trying to do. We are actually in touch with many publishers at the moment.
Okay.
The work on a Windows Phone app, and you've been with the developer group. It actually requires. It's not just a port. It's just a completely different way of thinking about the user interface.
Absolutely.
The envisioning of the app is a very critical phase of that journey of actually making an app for Windows Phone. And what we've done is we're engaged with many publishers today. Whether they're in the area of ticketing or booking shows or providing information or news or just content. Bollywood is big there. But there are definitely lots of work that we're doing in that direction to actually have at least some of the popular Indian apps, many of those popular Indian apps, re-envisioned for the Windows Phone platform, and coming to you through the marketplace.
Okay. I did a poll on my site a couple of days before as the announcement was made about the launch event today. So we did a price range check from different kind of users, smartphone users, traditional feature phone users, and people looking to buy new smartphones. Yeah. We gave them options like 10 to 20,000 or a diverse Android kind, 10 to 30,000 price range. So essentially, the major pick from the poll options came out to be a 1525 price range.
1525?
Yeah. So the only announced device as of that time was Samsung Omnia, which rightly fit into that,
right,
in the middle with 20K. Do you think there's a price range? Bhaskar mentioned about experiences being the focus rather than putting it out to a diverse spectrum of price range from sub 10,000 phones to 30 plus premium phones. So do you think price range is something that you talk to with your partners, or is it just focusing on the experiencing and letting the hardware costs come down with time?
Well, I think this is absolutely an important consideration. Today, our focus is to make sure that we drive the right balance between providing consistency of experience, not compromising on how we would like Windows Phone to be experienced by a consumer, and the choices that the consumer has in terms of what they're able to pick on the Windows Phone. And it's a balance. You can't go. If you go more towards one direction, then you tend to start losing out on the other. The more you sort of stick with the experience, the choices start to get limited. The more you go choices, the experience starts getting compromised. So the balance is very important. I think today, what we've been able to do is to get a very good balance. So I think there is some great choice, and you saw some of those things available right now. I think the experience is very consistent across the variety of choices that the consumers have. But as we think about the phone, in the future, clearly, from a roadmap point of view, we're very focused on working on both these dimensions. So making sure that while we are continuing to enhance the experience, we continue to make the phones, or at least work with our partners to make the phones more and more affordable. But at this point in time, I think it's sort of, phone is a collection of several things. There's a chipset out there, there's an operating system out there, there's clearly the hardware out there. And I think it's something that we work and partner very closely with our partners, and hopefully we'll see, us sort of expanding on that dimension as well.
Okay, you mentioned publishers, Microsoft partnering with publishers to release apps, very useful apps, and something that would drive the adoption in the market when there are apps for local content and local services. How do you plan to evangelize it among developers, not just established publishers, and developers who are on Windows mobile platform or on competing platforms like Android and iOS?
So I think lots of work that we're doing there. There is a very strong developer engine that we have which works on evangelizing. We've launched very specific programs recently. There is a student, there is a student developer program that we launched last week. I think you must have heard the I Unlock Joy program, great response that we've got. We will be focusing a lot on application level marketing. Okay. So it's about making sure that not only are we continue to onboard more and more publishers for the phone. DP is clearly, is running a set of campaigns that basically drive both, a set of what we call top apps, and as well as, lots of apps, thousands of apps, I would say, in terms of, the breadth of apps that we can get created out of India. So clearly we will be focused both on outreach as well as making sure that we have, some evangelization through some of these contests that we're launching, and of course, app marketing.
Okay. Last question, and I'll move from India to a global perspective. Gartners and IDC have predicted by 2015 Windows Phone being the number 2 OS, and you mentioned that number 2 would be a disappointment, and you are clearly eyeing for number 1. How do you think the roadmap for Windows Phone is going forward till 2015? Of course, Windows Phone 8, the Apollo, and the upcoming releases. Do you think any planning is already on the way in terms of experience enhancements rather than just feature addition and progressive evolution?
I think can't sort of talk about some of the roadmap specifically. There's clearly a roadmap for Windows Phone, right? And clearly what today we're announcing is what the current release of the phone is all about, which is really the 7.5 release, and there is almost like 500 new features that we've added to that release. There is a roadmap. I'm hoping to come back, and we are hoping to come back and share with you how this roadmap is going to be unfolding. But you would have to trust Microsoft, having been in the business of building software for the last 30 years, that clearly we think long term as we think about our product roadmaps, and phone is no exception.
Windows Phone 7.5 with 500 new features is actually a scary proposition. There's so much added from the launch platform Windows Phone 7 to 7.5 that the expectations have gone sky high. And of course, there is a trust in Microsoft that developers and consumers who are pro Microsoft keep looking at Microsoft for that huge evolution in the next step as well.
Right.
So that's for an exciting Windows Phone 8 or whatever comes next.
Right. And I think this is, you're absolutely right, and that's the reason why when we talk about the Windows Phone, we are always focused on, the key pillars around which many of that capability that we've added or we have in the Windows Phone sort of rotates around, whether it's modern communications built in and how we totally, enhance that experience of how modern communications come absolutely built in, whether it's about, smarter apps and how this whole app experience continues to be enhanced, like App Connect, and how this whole experience of the web, can be taken to the next level. So, it's one way to think about it is, okay, fine, we sort of start doing a checkbox on, hey, these are the 500 and these are the top 20 and these are the top 100. The other way, and that's the preferred way that we actually, intend to talk about the phone, is to really focus around what this enables for a consumer. Okay, a set of features that enables. And I think it's all centered around those 3 key pillars that I mentioned. Making sure that we've got all the modern communication built in, making sure that there is a very, very smart way of accessing applications, and making sure that the web experience is not just about browsing, but just goes, a few levels.
Absolutely. I guess that was all I wanted to ask.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thanks for
Thank you for being here.